Imagine this. You're earning a massive salary, playing for one of the biggest football clubs in the country. It's the ultimate dream, right? But for way too many professional players, that dream turns into an absolute financial nightmare just a few years after they hang up their boots. So how on earth does the dream of a lifetime become a total financial catastrophe? Let's get into it.
Just look at this number, our $200,000. And for some of the top players, it's even more than that. Now, just for a second, imagine that hitting your bank account every single month. That is a life-changing amount of money. The kind of money that says you've made it to the very top of the Premier Soccer League. And with that kind of cash comes the lifestyle. We're talking playing for huge clubs like Kaizer Chiefs or Orlando Pirates. You're driving the flashy cars. You've got the public adoration. You have that incredible feeling that you've finally, truly made it. It really is the dream of a lifetime.
But this is where we get to the big, baffling question. If the income is so massive, why do we keep hearing these horror stories about financial hardship? How does this amazing dream so often curdle into a complete nightmare?
Okay, to really understand this, we need to break down the anatomy of this financial fall. The problem? Well, it actually starts with the very nature of a pro football career. It's what you'd call a classic high-income trap, and it catches so many of these guys completely off guard.
This timeline right here lays out the core issue perfectly. A pro footballer has an incredibly short window to make their money. As you can see, you might hit your peak around 22, but by 35, for a lot of players, it's over. That gives you maybe 8 to 12 years, tops, to earn enough money to last you for the rest of your life.
And this is where the psychology of it all really kicks in, and it creates this massive mental trap. I mean, when you're 24 years old and that big salary starts rolling in month after month, it feels like it's never going to stop. It feels permanent. It feels like it's going to last forever. But here's the thing, it won't.
And on top of that, you've got this immense social pressure. Your success is suddenly not just your own. All of a sudden, you're the one who's expected to support your parents, your siblings, your cousins, even the whole community you grew up in. And then there are the new friends who pop up out of nowhere. The pressure to provide for everyone just makes the spending go into overdrive.
So it really all boils down to this critical choice. Every single time a paycheck hits the bank, are you going to buy liabilities? The stuff on the left, the designer clothes, the expensive cars that lose value the second you buy them? Or are you going to buy assets, the things on the right, like a business or property that can actually grow in value and make more money for you? This one decision, made over and over, literally determines their entire financial future.
And that brings us to the real root of the problem. What's so wild is that it's not just about making a few bad choices. It's about this massive gap in education. These players are trained to have bodies in peak physical condition, but their financial fitness, it's almost completely ignored.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The whole system is built to train their bodies for the pitch, make them faster, stronger, better. But there's this huge blind spot. Nobody is training their minds to manage the very wealth that their physical talent is creating.
And here's what happens because of that gap. You've got these fundamental concepts for building wealth, the stuff you see here, things like compound interest, how to invest, how to have more than one income stream. These ideas are often totally foreign to them. And that lack of knowledge leads to mistakes that are so easy to avoid, but are often just devastating.
But listen, it does not have to be this way. This is where it gets really interesting, because we can flip from the problem to the actual solution. There is a clear strategy that the financially savvy players use to turn that temporary high income into lasting, permanent wealth.
The whole strategy, it starts with one simple goal. Make your money permanent. This means you have to completely shift your mindset. You've got to stop looking at your salary as something to spend and start seeing it as a tool to build a system of assets that's going to keep paying you long after those club paychecks have stopped coming.
So how do they actually do it? Well, it breaks down into 3 pretty simple, actionable steps. Number 1, you have to accept the cold, hard truth. Your high-earning career is incredibly short. Number 2, you can't rely on just one paycheck. You've got to actively create other sources of income, a rental property, a small side hustle, whatever. And third, and this is the most important one of all, commit to investing a chunk of every single paycheck. No excuses.
Let's just put some numbers to this to make it real. Let's say a top player is pulling in our $300,000 a month. Now, even with super high expenses, say our $250,000, they can still carve out a serious chunk, in this case, our $50,000, to put straight into investments every single month.
And the result of that simple, consistent action? It's literally life-changing. Investing that amount month in and month out for just 10 years can build a financial foundation that will support you for the rest of your life. That is the insane power of consistent planning.
Now here's the best part. This is not just a lesson for football players. The principles of this smart player strategy, they apply to every single one of us, no matter what we do for a living. This is your financial game plan too.
And here it is. This is the absolute core truth of this whole story. A high income does not, I'm going to say it again, does not guarantee you will be wealthy. The only thing that builds wealth is developing smart financial habits. At the end of the day, it's not about how much you earn. It's all about what you do with it.
And that makes this lesson completely universal. It honestly doesn't matter if your paycheck says R10,000 or R300,000. The rule is always the same. Spend less than you earn and invest the difference. That one habit, that's the key to building wealth, no matter who you are.
So I'm going to leave you with this one last thought. If, tomorrow, a check for $200,000 just landed in your bank account, what would you honestly do? Would you upgrade your lifestyle and spend it? Or would you put that money to work and invest it? Your answer to that question reveals everything about your financial future.